best week in the flat racing calendar has passed, and we have the best tipster in the business, Tom Siegel, to help us assess Royal Ascot. Tom, let's start with Al Kazim, who confirmed his star status to win the Prince of Wales's stakes. Is he the one to beat in the King George, Eclipse and the Arc?
He's obviously got a chance, Tina. I don't think necessarily. I thought there were a few horses that put their hands up for the Eclipse. Horses like Remote, who won the TERCENTENARY. I thought he was really impressive. Horses like Mars, who was really unlucky in the St James's Palace. Thought he might have finished right on the heels of Dawn Approach. I think they're the type of horses that could easily go for the Eclipse too. So while Al Kazim is clearly the front runner, I'm not certain he's anything like a good thing for any of those races. No, I think there's plenty more to come around. The King George, we saw the German horse win yesterday, Noveliste. I actually thought that was probably a stronger race than the Prince of Wales. It had Cirrus des Aigles, had the Arc fourth last year, had some really good horses in it, Dunedin. You know, you've also got St Nicholas Abbey to come for the King George. So I think, Al Kazim's a really good horse, but I think we were getting carried away by making him a really wonder horse just yet.
Sheikh Mohammed said that Dawn Approach is the best miler in the world after his victory in the St James's Palace Stakes. Would you agree?
He's, well, it's hard to say that, isn't he? I mean, he won by a flared nostril from a horse that got hampered and knocked out of his rhythm. There was a couple of horses in behind, as I talked about earlier, Mars, that was unlucky. Magician didn't run his race, I don't think. I'm not convinced by that. I think he's a very, very good horse. I think the French horse style Vendôme's good. I think Intello would give him a race back at a mile too. You know, he was unlucky in the French Guineas. I think there's a few floating around. At present, he's the best, probably, but I'm not sure. Rather like Al Kazim, I'm not sure he's miles ahead, no.
Dawn Approach storming through in the blue jacket to challenge Toronado as the end of the closing stages. It's Toronado the grey, Dawn Approach the blue colours. Very tight between them, they're going to hit the line very close. Dawn Approach and Toronado. Mars was too late.
Sky Lantern's connections were talking about races such as the Arc after her victory in the Coronation Stakes. Is that the right route to take with her, in your opinion?
No, it's not. I don't think she'd be good enough to win the Arc. I think, she was really good the other day. No doubt about it, but the race sort of fell in her lap. They went way, way too fast, and Richard Hughes just sort of sat out the back and pounced late on. I mean, that can happen at Ascot and those Coronation Stakes. The French horse won it in a similar style a few years back. I remember Indian Ink for Hannon and Hughes doing exactly the same. Sometimes the distances and the apparent ease of victory can be exaggerated around Ascot. I think a mile and a half the wrong route for me. I'd stick to there's the Nassau, the Matron Stakes. There's plenty of races for her over a mile and a quarter that she could go for. I don't think she's an Arc winner.
An estimate provided a royal winner in the Gold Cup. Can she confirm herself as a leading stayer this season?
It's a tricky one for her because I think Ascot suits her perfectly. I know Michael Stout was saying after the race that he sort of was too hard on her after last year's Queen's Vase, which is why she never showed her form elsewhere, really. So maybe she could keep her form better this year, but it seems to me that Ascot suits her perfectly. I think the race on Champions Day, the Stayers race on Champions Day, will be her ultimate goal. She's obviously a major player in the Goodwood Cup and the Doncaster Cup and the Yorkshire, whatever it is, the race at the Ebor meeting. She'll obviously be a major factor in those, but I do think Ascot suits her best. She's not far in front of the rest. We saw that with Simonon and Top Trip right close up behind her, so she can confirm the form, but I think Ascot's the place where we'll see it best.
Estimate and Simonon, Top Trip trying to get on terms between those. Estimate the red sleeve jacket, Simonon on the outside, racing the waterline. It's a happy and glorious day at Royal Ascot. Estimate has won the Gold Cup for the Queen.
War Command and Kyoshi are both new favourites for next year's 2,000 guineas and 1,000 guineas. Are they worthy favourites in your eyes?
Well, I thought War Command was the highlight of the week for me, really. I thought he was absolutely sensational. I mean, it's funny, yesterday and Saturday, no one was really talking about War Command. It was all about the other horses, and I thought War Command was just about the best Coventry Stakes winner I've seen for a few years. Now, I'm not sure it was as good a Coventry as it was last year when Dawn Approach beat Olympic Glory and horses like that, but it was a pretty good Coventry. There were all good horses in there, and I thought he was exceptionally good. I thought the funny thing was he started 20-1, which either tells me that Aidan O'Brien didn't think he was that good or hadn't a clue how good he could be. The fact he ran him obviously tells you that he thought he was pretty good, but the fact that he was 20-1 suggests that he didn't actually expect him to win. And the second thing is maybe, which is a bit worrying for everyone else, is that Aidan O'Brien might have loads better than him. To start 20-1 for a Coventry, and Aidan O'Brien unbeaten horse suggests that wasn't thought to be their number one, or thought at the top of the pecking order. I'm hearing rumours that he's got a few at home that are equally as good as War Command. And
what did you make of the sprinters this year? We saw some really impressive performances.
Yeah, well, it's the same old with the sprinters, isn't it? Soul Power and the boys there. But I thought there were some interesting runs. I thought Pearl Secret ran a really interesting race in the King's Stand. I thought that was his first run since the Nunthorpe in last August. So I thought he could maybe step up from that run. I remember Oasis Dream coming back and being beaten in the King's Stand and then going on to be champion sprinter. I think he can improve for that. So I think he's a factor in all the big races. And Lethal Force was really impressive, wasn't he? They never really saw which way he went, and he was well on top at the end. I think all those 6 furlong races, I don't see any reason why he can't drop back to 5 either, but I think there's plenty of races for him too. So hopefully we're maybe seeing a change of the guard. I mean, I like Soul Power. I think he's a great horse, and he's deserved his Grade 1 success. Undoubtedly, he's been very unlucky on numerous occasions, but I think in the likes of Pearl Secret and Lethal Force, he's got some serious challenges now.
Any others that we should be making a note of, Tom?
I liked some of the 2-year-olds. I thought the American 2-year-old was really impressive, No Nay Never. And I thought especially impressive was Paul Cole's horse in the Chesham, Berkshire. We travelled through that race really, really nicely. I think he's going to step up into a nice horse. I think that might have been quite a strong race. I know the Hannons thought a lot of Bunker, and the Godolphin horse Itimal had run Kayoshi pretty close on her debut. So I suppose the horse bar the obvious ones, Berkshire was the one that caught my eye.